I don't understand the rules of this woman and what she can do.
I am a woman in the yard, and I'll do anything to drag you into my world. Jaume Collet-Serra has a new one, which is ordinarily good news. Is it this time? Let's discuss.
We are such fans of Jaume Collet-Serra, right? We love all his Liam Neesonings.
Yeah.
He did The First Orphan. We enjoyed Carry On.
Yeah.
Like high concept, like get out little thrillers, compact thrillers.
Yeah, we didn't love Black Adam or Jungle Cruise, but no one did. And really, I think he's better operating in kind of a leaner, meaner genre place, which hey, he's a Blumhouse now with The Woman in the Yard. That should work, right?
Right. He did The Shallows.
Yes.
We love The Shallows.
Yes.
Indeed. We are far from there now, truly. Come hang out with us, come subscribe, because when there's a bad horror movie that they don't screen before opening day, we will go to the movie theater for you so that you don't do it yourself. We like helping.
My husband will be back very soon. We both know your husband's not coming home.
You have seen this trailer 1,000 times. I think you probably know what this is about. But in case you have missed it, there's a family living in a farmhouse. Danielle Deadwyler is the mom. She has a teenage son and a younger daughter. And something's amiss. Clearly something is off. And we learn pretty quickly that she is widowed, that her husband has died. And we learn that she has suffered a leg injury, broken her leg in the same car crash that took the life of her husband. When she got out of bed with that knee brace on, I'm like, oh man, I feel you. I feel you. It's all coming back to me from my ACL injury. But they see out their window the titular woman in the yard. It's a woman who is covered in black lace. It's like a black veil. You can't see her. You can sort of make out her face, and she's just sitting there, and it's all blowing in the wind in a way that's like beautiful, but also ominous. She's just sitting there. She's not doing anything. She's just hanging out. And so the question becomes, who is she and what does she want? Because she seems like an increasingly menacing presence. Somehow she can move the chair closer to the house without getting up and like scooching it, picking it up and putting it back down again. All of a sudden, like, bam, she's just closer to the house. And then weird things begin happening. I don't understand the rules of this woman and what she can do as far as her abilities. And if she could do these things all along, why didn't she do them sooner? Because there seems to be a remove that is necessary for her threats, right? Like that she's outside for a reason. Yeah. And can do what she does with shadows for a reason. And then once that changes, it's like, oh, we could have done this all along.
There are really cool pieces here, you know, like Danielle Deadwyler, of course, is great, and she pops up in Collet-Serra's Carry On. You know, she is making a meal of this. And I think the two kids, who are played by Peyton Jackson and Estella Kahiha, are also terrific. And the sense of claustrophobia of like, we're stuck in this house, we can't get out of this house, the power's out, the phones are dead, like all of that stuff that you get in a horror movie is set up very well and played very tensely. And then once they start digging into who is the woman in the yard and why is she there and what does she want and how can they get rid of her, it's a little baffling. And not even baffling in like, oh, this is a heavy art film and I got to figure out what it means. It's like, no, somebody mucked about with this and like took several pages out of the script that needed to be there or something, because it's very unsatisfactory, but it's so close, you know, like there's so many movies where they just seem misguided from the get-go and they were never going to go anywhere interesting. And this one feels like you were onto something and there's a way to edit this or reshoot something or add some scenes or something that would really like bring this home, because I think, like I said, it feels like it's working. It's shot by Pavel Pogorzelski, excuse me, who shot Midsummer. You know, I mean, like And Beau is afraid, and Hereditary. Like, this guy knows his
A24
stuff.
darling.
He is the A24 darling, and he is, you know, this movie is set over the course of a day, and so, like, because shadows figure into it, like the lighting is very important, and the setting of this farm, and the way this house is like partially restored but partially still ramshackle, like all of that stuff. He's getting really juicy, you know, kind of horror settings out of it, but it doesn't work, and it's really disappointing that way.
And weirdly boring. Like, it's weirdly very slow and understated. And in some ways that's preferable to like screechy jump scares and
Sure.
cheap thrills. But the pacing is like too understated and too sedate, particularly from this director, when you see what he can do with a single location film like The Shallows.
Sure.
You know, like Carry On takes place essentially mostly in just that little TSA pre-check
Right.
area. So he can use a space in creative ways and continually
nonstop.
Upping the tension, upping the stakes here. But here it just feels like they sit around a lot. There's a languid kind of weekend afternoon quality to the vibe of what is supposed to be a menacing threat outside their door there. I also have questions about what the kids can see when and why. That feels a little inconsistent to me as far as what they, once we find out what's actually happening here, like what they can see when and why is confusing to me retroactively. That's all I want to say.
Sure. And also, like, I can't get into it, but like,
Okay.
like, why did this happen? Did it need to happen? Is there some point to it? You know, this is a film that raises way too many questions. And I like to think that somewhere there's a version of this that really works. There's like a director's cut that somehow somebody messed with, or like on the page, something, I don't know, because again, like, you can just smell a movie that never had an idea in its head, you know, and never was going to give you anything. But this one just, it's so frustratingly almost something that I feel bad about it. But yeah, ultimately you leave kind of being like, what, why, how?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, kind of a letdown.
It never lands in a way that is as profound as it aims to be.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's
Right.
trying to wrap its arms around not just sort of like grief, but also guilt and complicated, you know, sort of emotions and marital stuff and mental illness even, right. I think, and it just
isolation. There's no one near them for miles.
Exactly. Yeah. And it just
Yeah. I'm with you, though, in that production design establishes pretty efficiently off the top what's happening in this house, as far as like her being, you know, unable to care for her kids and because of her grief, and just how that, like, the way that the flowers that were sent, the constellation flowers, the way they're all wilting and the leaves are falling off, like there are little touches here and there, the dishes piling in the sink that let you know how dire this situation has become in this house.
Yeah, she's not just physically hobbled, but sort of emotionally as well.
Yeah, and both kids are good. Yeah, I thought so too. All right, I'm going to say 3.6.
Yeah, I'm at a 4. I think, like I said, it just, you know, there's some stuff there, but they don't figure out what to do with it, or somebody messed with it. One day maybe we'll get the story about why this movie doesn't work, because it should have worked.
Woman in the Yard's in theaters now.